Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Kerbal Space Program. I want to open with an apology for being bad in the last few episodes, and this is not, I mean, cynically people are going to be like, he's just doing this so he gets comments that say that, oh, keep it up, you never do anything wrong. Not the case! You know, I understand that the way to progress is through mud, you know? It's a hard slog. But I've been reading comments, like for example, hey, if you want to attach fuel tanks via radial decoupler, don't click on the fuel tank, click on the radial decoupler, and it'll work every single time. Thank you, I was ignorant of that, and I've been blaming the game for that, which is immature of me, when I was apparently just missing a very worthwhile piece of feedback there. Also, you don't need to mess around with having the nav ball have the retrograde marker on top of it when you're landing on the moon. Just burn it retrograde and it'll all work itself out naturally. It's a much simpler way to do things. Alright. These are very good pieces of feedback. This is a rocket that I've constructed. Basically, I just added an antenna and some batteries to our previous rocket. I just want you to know that I know there's a lot of people like the videos, of course. And a lot of people are like, this is absurd, you know? This man never learns. I'm trying to learn. It's taken me a while. I think I'm continually, like, biting off more than I can chew. And it's burning me in the butt a little bit. But, that's alright. Maybe you might be saying it's rich that you think this is more than you can chew. But maybe I got a smaller mouth than you do. I didn't mean that to be an insult, but it kind of came across as an insult. Another thing that's come across here, not as an insult, but that's come up in the comments is, apparently I've been operating under a misconception that you should ever slow down or throttle down once you get out of the heavy air, the thick air of Kerbin. So it makes sense to not go, I think, 1 kilometer per second when you're on your rise here, because the air drag might be bad, but once you get a certain degree out of the thick air, you know, the world's your oyster, more or less. So, I will also say, by the way, that essentially I'm not doing a gravity turn here, but the only change with this rocket is that it has an antenna and way more batteries now. And I'm going to try to transmit some scientific data back to Kerbin and then get Donka to return. Recall she did return on the last episode. The problem with that was, what's our apoapsis said? It's getting there. The problem with that is that all the scientific data burned up, so we didn't complete our contract. So rest assured, the gravity turn is something that I want to do. I'm gonna go to 90,000 here, maybe, just for ease of use. Rest assured, the gravity turn is something I want to do. I recognize that it's more efficient, but I think it's leading us to kind of take some steps backwards right now. That I need to basically look at better rocket construction and copy a tutorial from the internet. In more rigorous detail, might be the way that I would describe it. For now, we're going to focus on finally doing, again, a proper moon landing and a proper, you know, transmission. If we can actually start to grok the basics of transmission, hot and fresh out the kitchen, mama, roll in that body, got every man in here wishing, then I'm going to consider this episode a success. If we can transmit scientific data back to Kerbin, signal strength 100, cannot, why not though? Data RX cannot transmit science. You know what? Let's troubleshoot that right now. Data RX cannot transmit science. Is it because we have no scientific experiments done? Perhaps it's because you haven't extended your antenna. Oh wait, is this antenna capable of transmitting science? Oh, yeah, dude, it totally works. Anyway, please retract antenna, just for now. We need to get ourselves pointed over here. And I'm going to accept that, I'm probably, what's our apoapsis? T minus 39 seconds. So we did it in time, thankfully. I'm going to accept that I'm probably never going to do maneuvers in the most efficient way possible. But what I do is find a way to reach my own personal definition of success in my own unique way. I want to tell you an anecdote. I took tennis lessons when I was in middle school because, I mean, let's just be honest, I'm white as hell. I understand that tennis is a worldwide sport. Oh, dump it. I understand that tennis is a worldwide sport, but I have to admit, going to these tennis lessons at a country club when you're like, 12 years old is downright Arrested Development levels of absurdity. But anyway, tennis is a fun sport. You got a forehand and a backhand, right? Wrong. I decided early on in my tennis days, I was like, if the backhand is usually weaker than the forehand, why not just have two forehands? So whenever a ball would come to my right side, I'm left-handed, instead of using a backhand, I would just use a second forehand. Now, did I revolutionize the game of tennis? I would like to think that I upset the meta a little bit at within my age group at Ye Old Country Club, but obviously, I'm sitting here in front of you today, and I'm not on the Pro Tour, which could be for better, it could be for worse. I'm honestly not sure. However, it worked. Did it work as well as it could have? Oh, absolutely not. No, that's, quite frankly, just ridiculous. But I like to think that at least this tells you that I come by it honestly, Throughout my life, for whatever reason, I've done things my own way. And I don't necessarily even think that's the better way. Some people are like, I march to the beat of my own drum, and they brag about it. If anything, I wouldn't say I'm ashamed, but I would rather do things the more conventional way most of the time. But usually my own initial hunches end up working suboptimally, and kind of I suffer for it. And now if you watch me, you either suffer with me or you're entertained by it, which is also excellent. Okay, we got a 28-second burn in 30 minutes. Let's turn ourselves around here. What was the point of that anecdote? Well, first it was to make me look racially insensitive, and then secondly, the point of it was to just indicate that I've been like this my whole life. I think there's an element of like, I think because I was an only child, I kind of, came up with my own strategies to do things without running it by an older brother or a younger brother, for that matter, or sister. And as a result, I kind of have a habit of coming up with my own unique, usually inefficient, but unique at least, strategies for doing things. And I think in a way that kind of off-kilter brain action is part of the reason that people enjoy watching, so I'm not necessarily even disparaging myself there. Okay, I'm a little concerned. Our maneuver is before periapsis. Hopefully we won't slow down and, like, burn up in the atmosphere. I have had that happen before. It's conceivable I've even had that happen maybe less than 20 minutes ago. And that's why we started this episode with a full rocket being constructed instead of me going through the laborious process of adding parts to it in the vehicular assembly bay. But I digress. Are we going to have enough fuel to do this maneuver? Probably not. Not with this stage completely, but we'll get maybe halfway through it. Maybe a little less than halfway through it, but close. One minute and 8 seconds. I'm begging you, do not burn up in the atmosphere. That's all I ask. I got down to like 50,000. I'd have to talk so loud when the Twitch engines start firing. There we go. Get it further away from us. Then we don't have to talk so loudly. I got down to like 50,000. And, all my parts just started to shear off. So, we are able to transmit science, by the way. I know it says we can't right now, but that's because we need to extend our antenna. But we will wait to do so until we get closer to the moon. So, essentially, one of the big things for me on this episode is, we're getting further away from Kerbin. Excellent. One of the big things for me in this episode is simplifying our moon landing process. And if I can do that, and save a lot of fuel on, give me a second. I gotta pay attention here. I think we're good. Save a lot of fuel on, landing, then we should find it way easier to return. So, I mean, we might as well just warp to our moon encounter now. Because we won't be having to deal with, like, all the super inefficient fuel nonsense that I've been dealing with previously. So, we should spot the moon, and there it is. And, uh-oh. I'm like missing. No, the moon will be here. Okay, 1 second. We're gonna like basically. I wouldn't say collide is probably the wrong word, but yeah. Okay, there we go. That's more along the lines of what I was looking for. I thought I was gonna get captured going around in the opposite direction, and it might not be catastrophic, but let's be real. That's not really anything that adds an extra element of difficulty here is a problem for me. So let's get ready for retrograde. Keep in mind, we do have to worry about electricity. We got a ton left right now. But transmitting scientific data is going to cost us electricity. Let's try something. 24 science. Data size 12 mits. So I think these transmit 33.3 mits per second. The antenna, that is. And they use 20 electricity per second. So I don't even know if we have enough electricity to fire this, as weird as this might sound. But let's extend our antenna. Keep in mind, we do want to burn at retrograde to get into the point where we collide with the moon. But anyway, transmit data. It worked. And wait, this... Yeah, it did not take as much electricity as I thought it would. Anyway, we can leave this extended for now. We're gonna burn. Are we going to get in orbit? Dude, am I losing it? We're not gonna get in orbit, that's obvious. My approach vector is changing like 0%. Oh, no. That's because you burn at retrograde at periapsis. Okay, you know what? There's a big to-do list in these episodes, but yeah, okay, that was a bummer. Shouldn't have done that. Waste is a strong word. We used more fuel than we should have. Look at the rate that this vector is changing. It's killing me. All right, so we're gonna have to use like a lot of lander fuel here, I think. I almost want to just, like, cut my losses. I don't know. We still got a decent amount of fuel. I want to try to land, which I think is fair. Let's take some temperature data while we're doing this. Sick. Well done. Doesn't count as our contract being done, of course, but... Finally, this vector is starting to bend. So we now understand how to transmit to some extent, at least. I'm not sure if I approached this quote-unquote mooner maneuver properly, but I think I did my maneuver node suboptimally when leaving Kerbin. We're actually going to have a little bit more fuel left than I had originally conceived. So altitudinal changes should take place at apoapsis, I believe, when in orbit, so that should allow us to collide with the moon. There you go. Okay, I mean, it's not the way I would want to do it, but it is what it is. Probably a good time for a quick save. Good. You know, we've made some improvisational changes here that I think are, that I think indicate that we're starting to understand some elements of landing here. So now we don't have to play this weird game. We can literally just burn retrograde to land. I don't know if we want to start burning retrograde this soon. Kind of seems like maybe it's overkill. We wait until we get down to, like, you know, 100,000 meters or something like that. Do we have enough electricity left to SAS here? Oh, we got tons, yeah. So please, point retrograde. Thank you. So we're about 200 seconds from landing. Just start to slow it down a little bit. Are we going to be even close to Jeb? No, not even close. Actually, like 0%. Alright, so as we burn retrograde, the retrograde marker slowly moves to the normal anyway. I don't know if this is the actual normal, if we should call it the pole, but I don't like that word because I'm uncomfortable with my own sexuality. So we're going to come up this way. Again, we're probably, like not doing this as efficiently as we could. I kind of accept that as so be it. We're still about 200 seconds from landing. Get to 50,000 maybe. Starting to get a little close to the surface, so. And remember, my other intention here is essentially to burn as little fuel as possible. I don't know, what's more efficient? Maybe they're exactly the same, but I was thinking like a small, controlled burn, like this, or hitting it for like full power for a second, and then recovering. I don't know. Or not recovering, but cutting the throttle. Trying to be as unambiguous as possible. No data, no signal, not connected. How so, though? How so, though? No data makes sense. Are we on, like... Oh, Creative Cloud. An update for Creative Cloud is now available. You kill sticky keys, and all of a sudden you gotta worry about Creative Cloud. I think it might be because we're on the quote-unquote dark side of the moon. But, the moon rotates like zoop, 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 zoop. So I think that we will point towards Kerbin before too long. I'm fairly pleased with the way this is going right now. Our fuel is okay. Could obviously be better. We might have to spend like a day on the moon. Just waiting for the orbit to come around. About 100 seconds from collision, I think. Because I mean, this is... You know, you ever hear the expression, there's no stupid questions? I really believe that, because it's better to... I actually disagree with the statement that is, 'tis better to appear a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. As long as you're doing so in a way that's open and constructive, I think that's valuable. I feel like an idiot for asking the question, does the moon rotate about its own axis? I know it orbits Kerbin, and I mean, I guess the rules could be different for the Earth and the moon, but I assume that, obviously, the moon is modeled around the moon. But does the moon also spin about its axis like a spinning top? This is probably something you learn in like 3rd grade, and for whatever reason I've overridden that section of my memory. Like a Pokemon, as someone in a recent comment said. But face me in bar trivia, I will slay you. For whatever reason my brain has chosen to store data that probably is very unlikely to ever have any relevancy to me. Instead of data like, does the moon spin around? But you know what? Knowing the name of the actor that plays Sir Jorah Mormont is probably more relevant to my life than knowing whether or not the moon spins about its axis, because I'm not intending on taking any Astronomy 101 classes for the rest of my life. More power to you, if you is, but I doubt that I will be. So we've made like, I mean, seems like we might kind of land in a crater. And this might be craggy ground to begin with, but this has been a much more stable approach. Yeah, burning retrograde has actually made this 20 times simpler. And that's my bad. I should have, like, obviously looked at these comments earlier. Or internalized them earlier. But we're here now, and I'm thanking you. Still got a lot of electric charge. Our fuel is roughly the same, but the potential for error upon landing, I think, is like way less as a result of this. In fact, our fuel might actually be less, but I did also do a substantially worse approach to the moon than usual. At this point, I would almost strand this astronaut up here just to finish this gosh darn contract. It does appear that I'm landing on like a cliff face. Somebody left a comment that said, why not just have Jebediah walk to you? Apparently, walking across the surface of the moon at speed 1 was something that was going to take like 100 hours, so there's your answer there. But if we get close enough that that gets cut down to like 2 hours, that might be the kind of thing I would just like do off camera to make it happen. I don't know, this landing site seems like okay. Maybe not. It's a little angular. He's done it. 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 Dude, this is huge. Okay. So, I mean, while we're waiting, we might as well observe the materials bay. Capture that science. We might as well do a crew report. Capture that science. We should log our pressure data. Keep it. Log our pressure data again, keep it. I don't know, I mean, I'm assuming this is the same thing over and over, but log temperature data, keep it. Log temperature data, keep it. Alright, so now the next step is basically just waiting until we are pointed at Kerbin again, if that even works. Which admittedly I do not know. But I know that we're not really missing much by hanging out here. It's not like they need to eat. Well, either way, even if we don't orbit, and it looks like we're coming around this way, but even if we don't orbit, when we get here, we'll be pointed at the Earth anyway. Probably, right? Yeah. Are we... Did I permanently land on, like, the dark side of the freaking moon? Come on, man! We're never able... Is it... No signal, no data. I don't know about no data. Well, I guess we just may never actually be able to transmit this data. But if we can return, we have captured some science. Well, hold up. No. I'm a ding-dong. Closed doors. Why don't we... If that's the problem, why don't we just transmit data when we get closer to Kerbin? Retract antenna. I don't know what require complete means, but anyway, quick save. Alright, so we know the deal, roughly. You take off. You get into an orbit that's very small, and you basically try to collide with Kerbin, because our fuel efficiency is not great right now. So, let's go. Don't burn retrograde anymore. It's unnecessary. I don't even think we need to enter an orbit around the moon if I can just do like a gravitational slingshot and then at apoapsis burn prograde to extend our vector to touch Kerbin. I think that actually makes a lot more sense and possibly saves us a lot of fuel in the long run as well. So we want our apoapsis to, or apoapsis rather. Oh, that's way too high. But either way, we're going to create a maneuver. Then we're going to burn prograde at apoapsis till we escape the moon's SOI. And re-enter Kerbin's SOI. Give it a sec. I have faith this will work. So we can enter an orbit around Kerbin, but our periapsis and apoapsis are going to be disgusting. So, might just want to grab this. Oh, you're killing me, game. Gotta zoom out to see the effects of the maneuver, but you can't click on the UI elements in this case. We're gonna hit apoapsis like before too long, so grab this, then zoom out. Oh, you can't. Okay. Okay. Alright, well the other thing we could do is try to pull on like the normals or something, the normal and anti-normal, or forget what the blue ones are called. The pink ones are the normal and anti-normal. The idea being that potentially this could lead to us. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little scared here, actually. We got plenty of time because we're on speed 1, so just cool it. What if we did the move earlier? You burn prograde. Obviously, this is a relatively horrible way to make this happen. So what if we did the move later, after we come around the circle here? And by the circle, I mean the moon. Yeah, like we do it just after apoapsis. Apoapsis. See, that's like Aflac, the American insurance duck. Still 3 million periapsis. I think we might leave this astronaut stranded in space, but dude, if we could transmit the data, I would take that as a positive. And I mean that sincerely. I will kill an astronaut for science right now. So I'm actually going to do something that seems idiotic, potentially. I'm going to burn to make our apoapsis even higher. And then I'm going to try to adjust the maneuver again. Oh my lord. Okay, and then we're going to try it from here instead. This is a big test of does NL understand, on a rough level, the mechanics of this maneuver. And the answer to that question appears to be not really. Still 4 million periapsis. Hold up. Hold up. We got this. Look at that. 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 Don't you look at my orbit. It's the only one I got. Pretty sizable orbit. Never seems to get allotted. $30,000. I was gonna say, what's the burn here? 80 years? No, the burn is 51 seconds in 16 minutes. So we want to burn for roughly, or we want to start the burn at roughly 26 seconds. T-minus 26 seconds, rather. Dude, I am so desperately excited about a chance to have some forward progress in a Kerbal Space Program episode. This is man against nature right now. It's a classic trope in fiction. You know, man versus man versus himself, man versus nature. This is man versus nature, dude. That's right, I've taken 10th grade English. Got a 98 in it. You got a problem? I freaking love Lord of the Flies. William Golding. Simon's a weirdo. I remember. We can transmit data! Well, we can't. But we can, we now have a signal because we can see the planet. All we need to do is, if we can transmit, all we need to do is transmit and survive. I'm being real with you. We still have 27 seconds of burn. We don't need to slow ourselves down as long as our escape pod, well, sorry, our crew pod, which in many ways is an escape pod because of the odds of me living, it will succeed on this mission. Our Kerbins will live. We'll transmit as much science as we can. We might lose our electricity, and that might lead to our astronaut dying, but I don't really care as long as it completes the mission, to be honest. Our periapsis is 18,000, so that's lower than we'd like it to be. But only by like 10 kilometers, right? So who cares? See ya, moon. You stinky moon. Go be a celestial body, ugly. Alright, so we've been captured by Kerbin. Grabbed by the ghoulies, as they say. Then we're gonna hit and sick nasty, dude. Alright. Do you now have... Oh! Cannot transmit science. But why? Oh, our antenna is retracted. Status retracted. Yeah, but... Don't be retracted. We're going too fast, maybe. Okay. Extend. Can transmit. Dude, transmit. Transmit all. I don't care about reusability. Keep this up for a second. Let's freaking go, dude. It's still going. We gotta keep some electricity. It's doing 12 data. I think we're sending erroneous, well, not erroneous. We're sending redundant data that we've already sent before, and as a result, it's costing us electricity for no reason. But we still have 276 with which to make our landing. So, where is Kerbin? Kerbin, where you at, buddy? Where's my planet at? It's literally like, oh my god, the mouse lock, dude. Where's my planet? Oh, where's my planet at? You know what? We're Gucci, dude. Warp me here, please. Get your finger on the slash. Yeah, I got scared there. We could have kept warping a little bit more. Let's get ourselves on retrograde, please, while we still have electricity. Thank you. Because we do want to slow our roll as we re-enter here. So we get down to like 500,000. I'm going to hit, you know, full throttle freaking bursters here on the retrograde. This might, again, re-entry is something I've not really looked into. So I might be doing this beyond inefficiently. I might be doing this in a way that is just terrible. Thank you. Just taking a second to realign retrograde. I know we're gonna... I said 500,000. Start to slow us down. Maybe around 350. I'm kind of playing with fire, I'll admit. Let's go. So burning retrograde will slow us down. Not by much, but it will slow us down. I fully expect to lose the batteries. I fully expect to lose the barometers and the thermometers and probably the science. Maybe the antenna. All I want is for Donka to land. Either way, did we completed our science contract, right? Yeah. So essentially, like, I'm a happy camper. Even if Donka dies, she dies. I hate to say it, but that's not that relevant for me. I've got more than enough money. Money is actually 0% an issue. What is a problem is mission completion, science, etc., etc. If we land this, I guess we did take a crew report, right? So we might even have a little bit more that we can recover. I don't know. Can you log temperature data on these to get science? No. I was thinking maybe. They're not going to make it anyway. Let's be real. So you're going fast. Honestly, you might as well keep it on speed 1 here and watch it as it goes down. As your crew pod hits the ground. Tea Party? Did the Tea Party make it big outside of Canada? I don't know. So, I mean, she's going 3 kilometers a second. It's bad. And I pretty much expect her to explode. She's got a long way to go. Like, probably another 20,000 meters. We're losing something. Heat shield's holding strong. Heat shield still holding. She's gonna live. She's gonna make it. She's gonna make it. She's gonna be fine. She made it! We actually lost the heat shield, but still lives. Okay, she's done it. We've done it. Dude, this was... Give us a little round of applause there. Not because I deserve it, but because we've actually integrated a lot of tips that have been a long time coming. And we got a lot of science. We learned how to use communications. Our rocket worked. We learned how to land better. And now, you know, I'm not going to say it only goes up from here. But, dude, I'm stoked. I'm really pleased with the way that this went down. And I think we should be relatively proud of this one for the first time in like a week. So I'm a happy camper. Oh, let's see what we got here. It says 4.3 science earned, but we got actually like 130 because we were at 29, I think, before. No XP gain makes me a little sad, but dude, we did spend about 100 extra days on the planet or on the moon that we didn't need to, but that was awesome. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Thanks so much for your tips that have allowed me to make a mission like this possible. And again, thanks for your support. I'll see you next time.